¿Qué es la que hay? Welcome back. ¿Qué es la que hay? Welcome back to Tony West DIY. My name is West. God damn it.
How dare you!
¿Qué es la que hay? Welcome back to Tony West DIY. My name is West. And in the last RX-7 video, I showed you the wheels. I installed only two because I was waiting for the lug nuts. I just wanted to see the fitment. I got the lug nuts though. However, I found a transmission and that will change the whole game. By the way, it was a good deal, I'm gonna say now. I'm also waiting for the cluster. I got a new cluster, thank you Michael, by the way. That's gonna be another video. I'm just waiting for the cluster to get here. But this is basically how the RX-7 looks right now. So in today's video, I'll be dropping the transmission down. Why the hell I got another tranny?
Nobody cares.
This car always had a strange noise coming from a transmission when the clutch pedal is not engaged. Since the pilot bearing and throttle bearing were replaced, I replaced the input shaft bearing back in Germany, but guess what? It wasn't that shit. So I'm assuming it's the main input shaft bearing, which is the internal one, but I don't have the tools to replace that one. Reason number two is the short shifter. I think this car has the B&M knockoff short shifter, so I tried to rebuild it once, but it's still notchy as hell, and sometimes it gave me issues to throw first, second, or downshift first, even though if the car is stopped. I always wanted to replace that short shifter, but I'm missing the top part of the transmission. I don't remember what it's called right now. So the one that I want is like 400 bucks. I didn't see myself spending $400 in a shifter, at least not right now. Let me show you the part that I'm talking about. Alright, so I'm missing this part on mine. I'm missing the whole thing. I just ordered the bushings and everything that I need to rebuild that one as well, and including the clutch master cylinder, slave cylinder, the lines as well. And reason number three, this one came with a new throttle bearing, came with a new clutch and pressure plate. Apparently that brand sucks, but I'm pretty sure it's a lot better of what the car has right now. I got this to pull out the pilot bearing, which I ordered new, and I got that to pump the fluid back on the transmission. Since I'm gonna have the transmission out, I'm just gonna replace the aluminum engine mount, which is all messed up, and I'm gonna replace it with this one. Here are the lug nuts. Ordered these. I'll be able to lift the car up higher, that way I can play with the transmission and wiggle it, because without room it's really heavy as shit. Also, to feel the transmission, I want the car the most even possible. I always remember, you want to support the channel, you can press a like and comment down below, or if you like what you see, you can subscribe and press the bell button so you won't miss any of my videos. I'm gonna stop talking and let's get started. Alright, let's move on to what you need to remove in the center console in order to get the transmission out. Let me give you a better view from the top. So you pull this out, and then there is 4 10mm nuts, and then you remove this cover. I ordered this part as well, new. This is like 3 rubber covers. Yep, so I needed this one new, so I ordered that one, and I ordered this one as well, which it looks all jacked up. And this is what I was talking about. This is the B&M short shifter, which I don't think this is original, but it's really notchy, and you see all that play, and I don't know, I really don't like it. And that short shifter comes with the whole top part, as you can see, so I was missing that. So I'm removing the transmission I'm gonna remove that short shifter so I don't have that shifter sticking out, and it will be a lot easier to remove the transmission. So all right, so let's see. So I'm just gonna take the exhaust off out of here, and then all that thing will go down because I have to take out the power. Oh wait, hold on. Oil leakage. So going back to the DIY, the reason why I want to remove the exhaust is to have enough clearance to remove the power plant and remove the shaft as well. So you have 4 bolts over there. You just rotate the drive shaft, you put it on neutral, and then you rotate and then take them out. So some people say you have to mark the drive shaft. I think it's just to keep it balanced. And if you see, this one has a mark, so I'm just gonna use the same mark. I'm just gonna get a Sharpie and then redo it just so it's more clear on this side. But yeah, and the drive shaft will come out. And also, I'm not gonna record the whole thing because then it's gonna be a long ass boring ass video, but I'm gonna put the sizes whenever I update the video on screen of the sizes of the bolts. So this is a power plant. I have 2 bolts here, you have 2 more there, and this one here. You have to remove these brakes here, 2 more there, and then 2 here. All right, so remember, before you start messing with transmission and pulling the drive shaft out, you have to drain transmission fluid, and then you're good to go. On this side you have the starter, which this one I utilize a RX-8 starter with the RX-7 FD nose in order to use it in this transmission. You have 1 bolt here and then 1 bolt here, and then you just disconnect the cables. All right, moving on, you have the clutch slave. So once you remove the starter, you have more access to remove the slave. I ordered a new one, so that one is going to the trash. And once you remove all that, then you remove the bolts that attach the transmission to the engine. And then the tricky part, to separate the throttle bearing from the clutch. So you see that gap there on that ring? Basically you want to push that ring in towards the clutch, and then with a screwdriver you want to push back the throttle bearing in order to separate that. Because so I'll see if I can do it later and show it to you, because the only space that you have really to see it is this small window here. So I'll do my best to show it to you guys. If not, once the transmission and all that is out, I'll show you guys. Ugh, damn. Heavy shit. It's a huge bike. God damn. This thing has 2 resonators and it's still loud as f. Alright, let's keep moving. Just FYI, something I always do. Every time that I remove a bolt from a place, after I remove the piece that I want, I screw the bolt back. That helped me know that these bolts were from there. When you start doing something simple, it's not a big issue, but when you start removing a lot of bolts, if you don't do this, or you have a certain way, a system that you have to know where all the bolts are supposed to go, yeah, you're gonna have a big problem. So remove the two 14 millimeters. This one has a nut on the other side, is to hold the harness, starter harness. So you have to hold it on the other side and then loose it from this side. For the slave cylinder, you need an extension. These two are 12 millimeter bolt, and basically you have to push this up to get it out, and then pull the slave cylinder back in order to remove it. Now it's the fun part. I'm gonna take all the bolts from the engine and the fun part begins. All right, I'm gonna try to lower the garage door a little bit and record with the mic because they're putting asphalt in my driveway and there's a lot of noise. So, all right, so transmission is out. I really am trying to inspect where the hell the oil was coming from, and I don't see anything. Looks like this area, I don't know if that plug is not sealed, but I don't know. That's out anyway. And I wanted to show you guys the clutch. So the only thing that it says is DK. And I can't find anything on internet about that. I know it's made in Japan, but the clutch doesn't look that bad. Let's see, I'll show you. It's not bad at all. As you can see, the pressure plate is not that bad at all as well. So I don't know. Now I'm curious of what type of clutch is this one, or what brand or whatever. DK. To be honest, the first thing that I thought was Fast and the Furious. Don't judge me.
You know what DK stands for? Donkey Kong. Drift King.
And at some point I thought that was some eBay shit, but the one that the transmission came, the one that I bought, is a spec, and the reviews are not that great. So I'm kind of scared of, even though the spec one is new, to use it. So I'm just gonna, I don't know, I'm gonna look more information about this clutch. I'm still waiting for the rebuild kit for the shifter, the new shifter. And I just got the CMC, the clutch master cylinder. Just got it, the mailman just came. This one is CD. So you see this ring. This is the one that I was talking about. So when it's like, the clutch is this side, the input shaft is here, and the throw bearing is here. So if you try to pull this back, it won't come out because of the ring, this ring that you can see here, right? It's holding it in place. So what you want to do to release, to separate the transmission from the clutch pressure plate, the ring is gonna have this gap, right? So you press this ring forward, and then with the screwdriver you pry out or pry back this direction the throw bearing. I don't know if I said it earlier, but when you're pulling the transmission, make sure that if you use a jack or somebody's helping you or whatever, before you drop the transmission, make sure that you go a couple inches back.
That's what she said. No.
So the input shaft is out of this area, and once you do that, you drop down, right? In my case, I had to take out the downpipe as well because it was hitting on the bell housing. So it was preventing me to drop the transmission. But make sure you go back a little bit, couple inches, because if not, the input shaft is gonna destroy this ring. They're making so much noise, but at least they're putting new asphalt there. So, all right, guys. Now that the noise is over, I was able to remove the CMC, and I found that it was leaking. It definitely needed to be replaced. This is the new one. Basically has two 12mm bolts, and the rod Just this one. I'm sanding out because I've had a little bit of gunk and shit. But basically it's there. This part is attached, so you have to lose this 12mm nut, and then you twist the whole rod and it will come out. Also, to remove the line, make sure that you have one of these. I think flare. I think is what it called. It's a 10mm. Especially, you know, car is old and you don't want to get that line stripped because that would be a bad day. This is the pilot bearing, and again, this tool, Harbor Freight, was really amazing. It was easy to pull it. The pilot bearing is shot, so that could have caused the noise as well. But again, I'm glad that I'm replacing everything. And that's it for today's episode. I'm just gonna wrap this up and wait for the stuff that is on the way. Slave cylinder, pilot bearing, bushings for the shifter, and all that. I'm just gonna clean the power plant, removing the shifter from the new transmission that I'm gonna put in, and then leave everything ready. So stay tuned. Remember, if you want to support the channel, give me a like, subscribe, and press the bell button so you won't miss any of my videos. If you have any questions, like always, contact me at TonyWestDIY@gmail.com or in my social media accounts at TonyWestDIY. Thanks a lot if you're watching until this part. Stay safe. God bless. Until the next one. So I just finished the video and received a notification that I received more stuff, and there you go.